unit. It is called Hot Sun, Cool Changes. So a little bit about the unit plan overview. The topic that my unit covers is Earth and Space Science. It's intended for first grade. And the standards that I use for my unit are the sun is the principal source of energy and water on Earth is present in many forms. So the essential question for my unit is how does energy from the sun change the world around us, including water on Earth? This kind of combines both of the topics covered in the unit, one being focusing on the sun and it as a heat energy source, and then also obviously water and how it could change forms from solid to liquid, but it kind of just combines both. And then for the rationale, this unit, it connects to students' everyday experiences and lives when they're outside. You know, they interact with the sun, they could feel the warmth and the heat on their skin. If they're living somewhere cold, they obviously see snow outside, and then once it starts to warm back up, they watch it melt. When it rains, the puddles, but then they dry. Yeah, so again, just overall, like, they see weather changes, but they may not understand like what is actually causing them. So that's why this unit will explain, but they're still already familiar with it. So again, that kind of goes to the next point, that it builds foundational understanding of how the sun provides energy and just affects water and temperature. Also, the activities and experiences that the students will have throughout this unit, it will help them use early scientific thinking and observation skills. It will also help develop their communication and observation and critical thinking skills, specifically in science. The main learning objectives, or I can statements, for this unit is I can describe the sun as the main source of energy for Earth. I can observe and explain how sunlight warms land, air, and water. I can compare what happens to water when it freezes or melts, and I can record and share observations from science investigations. So now just a lesson overview. So for day one, the objective is that students will explain how sunlight warms objects on Earth through words or drawings. So the main activity that they will be doing is comparing objects placed in the sun and then having some in shade. And then they get to kind of touch and then discuss with each other which objects feel warmer. They'll record their observations, use pictures and words. So this kind of like covers all the bases. It's hands-on. They're investigating, exploring, and discussing their ideas with each other. And then day two, the objective is that students will observe and describe at least two changes that happen when ice melts into liquid water. The main activity for this is that students will get to look at ice cubes over time and make predictions about what will happen. They'll discuss why they think the changes occurred, and then again record observations using pictures or pictures and labels. Okay, and then for day three, the objective is that students will explain using observations from an investigation how sunlight and temperature can cause changes in water. So this kind of day three, like again, like combines both of the topics that were covered in day one and two. Students for the main activity, they'll work in small groups and investigate how sunlight affects water or ice. And they'll place them in different locations, like the sun, out in the sun or in the shade. And then after, they'll create a poster explaining their observations and just their overall conclusions. The teaching strategies I used throughout this unit, I did a collaborative project, which again is at the end, the poster, and also just working together to discuss their observations and predictions. Also inquiry-based tasks, and then I did kind of do more of a limited of direct instruction. It was more kind of just embedded throughout. Like I did introduce certain vocabulary or concepts, but I didn't want to spend a lot of time. I wanted my unit to focus more on the kids being actively involved and get to investigate. Um, but yeah, but these type of activities, the collaborative projects and inquiry-based tasks, they encourage students to actively explore and ask questions instead of only listening to the information. So that's why I chose to have those, so they could be more actively involved. And then the assessments that I used, for formative, I used the same type of formative assessments for each day, just like observations, um, reading the students' journals to kind of get an idea of what they're thinking, what they're understanding, just their overall thoughts. Um, Looking at the prediction charts during investigations, and then obviously just asking like questions, like checking in as well. And then the summative assessment that I used was that on day 3, the group poster, and that should cover how the sun provides energy, how water changes forms, and what they observed during the investigation. So it kind of just wraps up everything that was covered during the unit into one. And then they have to show that they have kind of got an understanding by presenting it orally, and then obviously the poster kind of is more of the written part. My overall reflection for this, it was definitely a bit challenging, especially the unit template, a little bit overwhelming, and I didn't really know where to start, but overall it was a rewarding experience. And it was a good experience with just designing a science unit because I have not had any experiences with that yet. Um, and I really enjoy how we were able to kind of pick any sort of topic, science topic, of course. Yeah, and I enjoyed connecting science concepts to real world experiences. Um, and I just overall I really enjoyed this project. Thank you.